The rules of supply and demand are pretty clear. If demand outpaces supply, prices go up. And as Machinery Pete shows us, used combines are following those rules.
Well, folks, there's no other way to say it. This is the hottest used combine market I've ever seen, and honestly, nothing has ever been close to this. It's unbelievable. Supply and demand is driving the bus here. Now, that can be an ambiguous thing to talk about supply and demand, but it's not. Here's a visual chart from our machinerypete.com website, folks, a visual representation. So the blue line is supply, and the orange line is demand. People, clicking on used combine listings for sale. And this chart goes back 2 years. So if you look over on the far left, that's the way it used to be. Way too many used combines stuck on dealer lots. But now it's different. You can see that blue line tanking lower while the orange demand line is spiking higher. So that's manifesting itself in rising used values. Now let's talk a specific model, a Case H 7230. Now here's a picture of a very nice one. This sold August 31st on a farm auction in Mason City, Iowa by our friends at the Steffes Group. It was a 2012 model, 2,600 engine hours on it, went for $97,500. Now yes, that's a very strong price, and in fact it's the highest auction price ever on a 7230 combine with over 2,500 engine hours. And folks, you can look at all these numbers, all these auction prices. They're free. Just go to machinerypete.com, click on auction prices. You can do these filters and these searches just like I'm showing you here. And actually, the 5 highest auction prices ever on 7230s with over 2,500 engine hours, they've all come in the past year. But beyond that, 3 of the 4 highest auction prices were in the last 10 days of August 22. So that's what I'm talking about. This is the hottest used combine market I've ever seen. And let's check out things from the John Deere side of things with used combine prices. So just hop to our website, machinerypete.com, click on the auctions tab, and then auction price data. All this stuff is free to look at. It's updated every day. And let's just look at some common John Deere models. So let's start off with an older one, a 9560 STS. And we punch it up here. You can see over 200 auction prices on them. Now up on top here, it'll say average pricing. If you click that, this is very powerful, folks. It goes back in time and shows you the current average auction price with a high and a low, and then walks back year by year. And you'll note here the average has gone up the last 2 years from $45,364 2 years ago, then over $52,000 last year, and this year over $64,500. And again, under the max column, you can see we recently saw one for $101,000. That's the highest in 7 years. And if you dive down here into the auction pricing, you can see that was very recent, just last month, August 3rd, Eagle Grove, Iowa, farm auction by our good friends at Ryerson Auction Realty. They sold an 05 model Deere 9560 STS, 2,053 engine hours, again for $101. Very strong price. And let's just continue the exercise here. Let's look at a newer model, the 9570 STS. And if we punch these up, and then again, click on the average pricing link, and here you go. Same pattern for actually the last 3 years. Average auction price has risen on a 9570 up to $96,114, and again, all the way up to $159 on the high side. So again, similar trend there. And let's just get a little larger here. So let's check out 9770 STS combines. You can see we've got over 1,000 auction prices on them. And again, click the average pricing link, and same trend, folks. Average price up the last 2 years from $74,341 2 years ago, just over $78,008 last year, up to $82,493 so far this year. And let's just continue on to newer model Deere. So let's look at a S670, of course, very common model there, made from 2012 to 17. You can see you get 770 auction prices. Click on the average pricing link, and again, same trend. Average auction price up significantly versus 2 years ago, up to $129,508 this year. And again, look at the high so far this year, $286,001. That was just last week. Here you go, September 7th, weekly big iron auction out of Gridley, Kansas, a 17 model S670 with 1,035 engine hours at $286,001. And again, let's just continue on to newer, bigger machines. So the John Deere S790s. And you can actually, if you look at the individual prices here, you can see that on August 9th, last month, on a online dealer auction, this was for AgPro, a big dealer there out of Ohio and Georgia, some states down in the southeast. They sold a 21 model S790 358 engine hours for $480,000, auctioned by Sullivan Auctioneers. That is the highest auction price I've ever seen on a combine, $480,000. And I tell you what, folks, that auction on August 9th, I believe they had 32 combines on that auction. And before that day, August 9th, I'd only ever seen 9 combines sold over 400K. And that one auction on August 9th for AgPro, they had 8 that sold from 416 to 480. So in one day, we, pretty near doubled the number sold over 400K. So all these examples, again, just telling you what's real out there. And again, used combine value is the hottest I've ever seen.
Your next piece of equipment is on MachineryPete.com. Search equipment from dealerships across the country to find what you're looking for. Only on MachineryPete.com.